Hi everyone, it's Sam here to discuss the unit material. So the first thing I want to talk about are the three major takeaways that I had from this unit. So the first one is the racial disproportionality phenomenon. I found the video to be a really awesome tool for social workers or anybody to look at because it had a clear definition as to what this is. So the disproportionality means that certain groups of people are either over or underrepresented in the system compared to their peer groups of the general population. And they really touched well on people of color, and they provided some numbers for us. So the numbers that really stuck with me are that African Americans are 2 times more likely to be abused, and Indian Americans are 3 times more likely to be abused and less likely to be adopted, which is really interesting to see and to hear, because I did see a lot of racial disproportionality at my internship. Due to the domestic violence in the household, the members were court mandated by the welfare system to come in and take these classes so that their children can be reunited with them or stay with them, because domestic violence is a failure to protect within the welfare system. They see it as a failure to protect, even if the mothers are doing everything they can. The second thing that I really stuck with me was being aware of what your biases are and how you're feeling about certain situations can help tremendously within a certain situation. The video just said check yourself a million times, but they're right. As much as I kind of giggled about the check yourself phrase, it's true. Being aware of what causes you biases and finding where your countertransference is really important as a therapist or as a case manager or a caseworker, because you're not going to efficiently help somebody, and you're going to make decisions based upon what you feel is right or wrong depending on what you're thinking. So in order to make a non-judgmental call, or a call on something that is really important, you have to make sure you are aware of your feelings and to discuss it with somebody like a supervisor. That really stuck with me a lot. And then the third was that it's important to gather sufficient information when you're going into a home and investigating safety, because to me, making the decision to take away a child from a home or to keep them in a home based upon what's going on in the situation is a really big decision. It's really huge for a caseworker. It's really huge for a situation, because we all know the impacts of the system on children. We also know the impacts on family members on children, good and bad. And if we aren't sufficient in collecting information, we could make the wrong call. And making the wrong call could really affect the child as well as the family in significant ways. The two things that I were confused about, in the module, they were talking about reconciling the information. I'm a little bit confused about that, because is that really looking at what you feel about it and like internally thinking about your biases and figuring out what to do, or am I totally off? And then the second thing is cultural competence. I'm not confused about the cultural competence, but I am wanting to figure out how these people learn how to be culturally competent in the welfare system. And then one major question kind of revolves around cultural competence. Even if you can learn all of the information that you can about different cultures, are you really culturally competent? How can you tell if one is really culturally competent, I guess is my question. So thanks for listening. Have a good weekend.